invite softness around your eyes. So that might mean some light coming in, some shadows being visible. And then soften around your jaw. The tongue moves away from the roof of the mouth. And keeping that face soft, invite some action through your legs. So if you are, or any part of your leg that is in touch with ground, see if you can begin to push the ground away. So if you were seated cross-legged on the floor, you'll begin to push a bit more through your glutes, through maybe the outer part of your leg, the pinky toe side of your feet. And see if you can feel that action. If you're sitting in any other way, notice what parts of the body are in touch with the ground and begin to push a bit more through those. And as you begin to engage and find a bit more effort, notice how that affects your breath. Can you still find a long breath in and a long breath out? If you were active through your legs, find a little bit of softness, but don't let go completely of the engagement. So you're still aware of those legs pushing some into the ground. And we'll begin to move in more obvious ways. So take another breath in. And then on your exhale, drop the left ear to the left shoulder. Find space in the right side of your neck. Drop the right shoulder. Take a full inhale. And then draw the chin all the way to your chest. Breathing here, finding space in the back of the neck. And then as you're ready, take your right ear to the right shoulder. Find space now in the left side of your neck. Breathing in. And breathing out. And then let's bring the chin back to the chest. We'll go one more time each side and add a little tweak there. So take a full breath in at center. And then take the left ear to the left shoulder. Full inhale. And now turn your chin towards that left shoulder. Breath in. And return chin to chest. When you are ready, right ear goes towards the right shoulder. Pause here, breathe in. And then turn your chin towards the shoulder. Another breath. And return chin to chest. With your next inhale, looking forward, opening eyes, reach your arms overhead any amount. And then on your exhale, lower your right hand down by your side and side stretch. If you're on the floor, give a push through that right hand. Bend a bit the elbow if that's available. And then try to draw your left shoulder slightly back so that chest stays open. Bring yourself back through center, breathing in. And then take it over to the other side as you breathe out. Again, a little push through that left hand, pushing into the floor, and then open up that right side of the chest. Draw that right shoulder back. As you breathe in, bring yourself back through center, and then on your exhale, lower the hands in front of you and walk them forward any amount. Don't go too far. Keep your sit bones planted. Chest is going forward and down. Just find a stretch through the side body, through that back body. Take a deep breath in and take a long breath out. And then work your hands towards the right side. And then see if you can stack your left hand on top of the right. Press your left sit bone down and then push your left rib cage towards the left or even slightly forward. Breath in and breath out. And then come back through center, walk your hands all the way over towards the left. And now right hand, see if you can stack it on top of the left. And then think about your right sit bone pressing down and push your right ribs towards the right. And depending how far over to the left you are, you might push the ribs forward some. Breath in and breath out. Soften through the face. Walk your hands back through center and then walk them towards you, lifting that spine once again. Rest your hands on your thighs, give your shoulders a roll, bring them up by your ears, squeeze them in, and then drop your right shoulder down. Inhale and lift right shoulder, keep the head right where it is, and left shoulder lowers. Inhale and lift, one more time each side, right shoulder down, and lift, and left shoulder down. And then bring both shoulders up by your ears. Inhale, pause here. Stay with your exhale. Take another breath in. Maybe those shoulders lift a little higher. And then with your exhale, release them down. If you were sitting cross-legged or asymmetrical seat, see if you can find the other side. So switch your legs. And then find again your sit bones well planted. With your next inhale, reach your arms tall. And then on your exhale, left hand down, side stretch. Just like we did earlier, draw that right shoulder back. Then from here, rise up, breathing in, and then go into a twist towards the right side, right hand behind us, left hand crosses over, turning your torso towards the right. Take a breath in, take a breath out. Now keep your left hand where it is, bring your right hand over the left arm, grab the opposite leg, and then round the spine as you cross those arms, chin to chest. Find space in that back body. As you inhale, release, coming back through center, reach your arms tall. And then let's go to the other side, right arm down, side stretch. Inhale, back through center. Exhale, find your twist towards the left side. Left hand comes behind us, right hand crosses over. Legs stay more or less the same. And then from here, left hand or left arm crosses over the right, grab the hold of the other leg, and then round the spine. So find a little pull through your hands as you bend your elbows, chin to chest, and notice that stretch through the back body. And then release, come back through center, inhale. And on your exhale, lower the hands in front of you and again, walk them forward. Find any amount of forward fold that is available at this moment. So maybe you go a little further, maybe it feels a little easier this second time. Check in, breathe. And then walk those hands back towards you, rise those arms overhead, and then interlace those fingers overhead, bend your elbows and bring the hands to the back of the head. We're going to keep a neutral spine. Think about your hands pushing into your head, but your head pushing back into your hands. Okay, so we're not going to change this. Imagine you were on a wall with your back body and you're just going to slide from side to side on that wall. So take an inhale at center. And then as you exhale, left elbow drops, right elbow towards the ceiling, side bend. And then as you inhale, come back through center and take it over to the other side as you exhale. We'll do it a couple more times. And a lot of times when we do these side bends, follow your breath, we think about the side that stretches. So now see if you can focus on the side that contracts and make that contraction intentional. And then center at your own pace. And then one more time each side. Use your exhales to find that side bend. Use your inhale to find center. And last one. And then as you inhale, coming back through center, lengthen those arms. And on your exhale, right hand behind us. And once again, find your twist. Pause here, finding some movement through the neck. So we're not changing the rest of the spine. Take a full breath in. And then look over your right shoulder. And then back through center. And look over your left shoulder. And back through center. One more time each side. No change in the rest of the body towards the right. And center. And towards the left. Now gaze comes back through center. Bring your torso back through center. Lengthen arms up if that feels good. And let's take it over to the other side. Left hand behind us. Right hand crosses over. We're finding the twist first through the torso. And then we're finding the movement through the neck. So breathing in. And exhale, looking over the left shoulder. And back through center. And looking over the right. And then one more time. Center. And to the left, keep your shoulders down. And center. And to the right. And then back through center with your gaze, and then back through center with your torso. Arms can lift, and then on your exhale, hands in front of you, and we'll meet in a table pose. Those hands under the shoulders, those knees under the hips. Once you are here, find a little movement. So you might kind of like walk with your hands a little bit. You might shift your hips, your torso a bit from side to side. And you might also walk with your knees, with your shins and your feet a bit, so lifting and lowering off the mat. And kind of as a way to find your alignment or what feels most stable for you. And then eventually find some stillness through those hands and legs. And with your next inhale, drop the belly, bring the chest forward, lift your gaze, spread your sit bones. And then as you exhale, round your spine, sit bones towards one another, chin towards the chest. And then again, breathing in into cow. And breathing out into cat. And 2 more times, breathing in. And out. And 1 more, breathe in. And breathe out. And then pause, neutral spine, and with your next inhale, your left leg reaches out behind you. Keep it lifted and find some rotation through your left ankle. In one direction. And then in the other, draw the belly towards the spine, keep pushing through your arms. And then pause the ankle rotation, point your toes away from you as best you can. And then on your exhale, draw that knee into your chest, round your spine. Inhale, extend. Exhale, left knee to left elbow. Inhale, extend. And left knee to right elbow. Inhale, extend. And now cross your left foot over to the right side. Plant the ball of the foot, push out through the heel, and then look over towards that left heel. Find some space in the left side of the body, and find some contraction through the right side of the body. Full breath in, and a full breath out. And then bring that leg back through center, lift it. And then on your exhale, return the knee to the mat, come back to your table pose, straight to the other side, right leg extends out behind you. Draw belly to spine, see if you can find that neutral spine, so try to avoid dropping the belly. And then with the leg lifted, find some rotation through your right ankle in one direction. And then switch. Push the floor away with your hands. And then point those right toes away from you, lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. And then on your exhale, knee to chest, round your spine. Inhale, extend. Exhale, right knee, right elbow. Inhale, extend. Exhale, right knee, left elbow. Inhale, extend. On your exhale, cross that right foot over towards the left. Plant the ball of the foot. Push the heel away. Draw the right hip down and in. Push through your hands. And then find that side stretch, looking over towards that right heel. Notice the space on the right side. Notice the squeeze through the left side. Breathing in. And breathing out. On your inhale, bring yourself back through center. Extend that right leg out. And then return to your table pose. Exhale. Keep your knees where they are. So knees under those hips. And then walk your hands forward. Bring them wide. And then forward. Coming into puppy pose. As you reach your arms forward, your chest comes closer to the ground. Your head comes closer to the ground. Take 3 cycles of breath, lifting those sit bones. softening through the face. And see if you can feel a bit more stretch through armpits and chest. And another breath in. And breath out. And then come all the way onto the belly. We're coming into cobra. So the hands are going to come kind of at your rib cage, kind of more or less, pretty close to you. And then think about your elbows drawing also close to your torso and pointing straight back behind you. Engage through your legs, push the tops of the feet into the mat and squeeze through the glutes. Keep your gaze down and imagine there was a string pulling you up from kind of the base of the back of your neck or the space between your shoulder blades. So as you inhale, lift, torso lifts off the ground or chest lifts off the ground, hips stay down, and exhale, lower. And then again, inhale, lift, squeeze through the glutes, exhale, lower. See if you can keep those elbows squeezing in towards the torso, breathing and lift. And breathing out, lower. 2 more times. Inhale. Exhale. And 1 more. Breathe in, lift. And then on your exhale, lower, moving through table pose. And then we're coming all the way into downward facing dog. Tuck your toes and lift those sit bones up and back. Allow the head to hang here. Look from side to side. Breath in. Open mouth, exhale. 1 more, just like that. Breathe in. And open mouth, exhale. And then walk your hands towards your feet. So coming to the back of the mat. And finding a forward fold here. So you could hold on to opposite elbows. You could sway a bit from side to side. We'll stay for 3 breaths or so. Get acquainted with the stretch through the backs of the legs. Notice how those hamstrings are feeling today. And then see if you can push down through the heels and lift through your sit bones. And you could do that with your knees bent. So a bit more gentle with those hamstrings, with the backs of the legs and the backs of the knees. And then let's bring those hands to the hips, chin to chest, and unroll the spine, pressing down through the feet as you rise all the way up to stand. Let your arms hang by your side with your palms facing forward, gaze is forward. Take a moment, breath in and breath out. As you inhale, reach your arms tall, and then on your exhale, right arm down, side stretch. Inhale, come back through center, and exhale, take it to the other side. Inhale, back through center, interlace those fingers overhead, turn the palms, and then push the palms towards the ceiling. Full inhale. On your exhale, arms wide and behind you, interlace them at the lower back. Open up through the chest, squeeze the shoulder blades, lift that chest. And then on your exhale, keep your hands where they are, bend your knees and fold forward. Dangle the head and maybe your hands reach up towards the ceiling, still interlaced. And then release those hands, halfway lift. Inhale, lengthening that spine. On your exhale, fold. Again, halfway lift, and this time reach your right arm by your ear. And exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift, and left arm by your ear, reaching forward. And exhale, fold. Now on your inhale, halfway lift, and see if you can reach both arms by your ears. Draw belly to spine, strong through your legs, a bend in the knees, perfectly good idea. Breath in. On your exhale, fold forward. On your inhale, walk your hands all the way to the top of the mat, finding a plank pose. And then from your plank pose, lift your sit bones up and back, downward facing dog. We'll move between plank and down dog a few more times. So as you inhale, come back into that plank. And as you exhale, back into downward facing dog. See if you can do this without moving your hands. So as you inhale, come out into your plank, your shoulders over your wrists. And then on your exhale, lift your hips up and back. Keep your hands where they are. Your heels do not have to touch the ground. And again, inhale into your plank. And exhale, downward facing dog. Last one, breathing in plank. And breathing out, downward facing dog. Pause here, take a full inhale. And take a full exhale. One more breath in. And breath out. With your next inhale, your feet this time walk towards the top of the mat. And on your exhale, find your forward fold. Bend into those knees, rise into chair pose, inhale. And exhale, bring your hands to your heart. Now let's explore this chair pose a little bit more. So send weight a bit more into your heels, so you might be able to lift your toes. And then notice if you could lift your torso a bit more. So rather than being hunched over, see if you can open up the front of the body to the front of the room. Shoulders down, relax through the face. Take a full inhale. Take a full exhale, nice. One more here, breathing in and breathing out. And then push the floor away, straighten legs, reach your arms tall. And on your exhale, left arm down, side stretch. Inhale, back through center. Exhale, other side. Inhale, back through center. Find the opposite interlace of your fingers this time. Palms towards the ceiling. Find that stretch. Maybe float your heels off the ground. Steady gaze and steady breath. Breathing in. On your exhale, heels down if they were lifted, hands behind you. The same interlace. Open up the chest. Breath in. And then on your exhale, bend in the knees and folding forward. Hands are still interlaced at the lower back. Once you're folded, head drops, arms reach up. Breath in and breath out. Releasing those hands halfway, lift, inhale, fold, exhale. Just like we did earlier, inhale, half lift, right arm by your ear. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift, left arm by your ear. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift, both arms by your ears. It's a strong, difficult pose. Draw belly in, breathing in. And exhale, fold. Nice job. Step your feet back, downward facing dog. Full inhale. And a full exhale. Again, let's explore those down dogs and planks. So as you breathe in, come out into your plank pose. And as you breathe out, move back into downward facing dog. And again, inhale into plank, shoulders over hips. Keep those legs engaged. Exhale, downward facing dog. And one more, breathing in plank pose. And breathing out, downward facing dog. Take another breath in. And on your exhale, gently, slowly, lower your knees to the mat. We're meeting in a table pose. Hands are coming under the shoulders, knees are under those hips. And we're looking for a neutral spine. Okay. So I don't know if you remember a few weeks ago, we worked on retraction and protraction of those shoulders. So we're going to do a little bit here now. So think about dropping the chest between your arms, retraction, so the shoulder blades are drawing towards one another. Try not to drop the belly or disengage through the belly. So it's not the whole torso dropping. It's not a cow pose. It's only the chest and upper back. Okay. So see if you can play with that a bit. So retraction. Squeeze shoulder blades, your elbows are still extended. And then protraction, you're going to send the space between the shoulder blades up towards the ceiling. So shoulder blades are sliding away from one another, but you're not changing the rest of the spine. And then again, retraction, drop that chest. Feel the shoulder blades come closer. And then protraction, feel the shoulder blades move away from one another and that space between them kind of appear again. And then again, retraction, drop the chest. And protraction. Let's do one more just like that. And now find a place in between, but you will tend to be more into that retracted position in these places because we drop into the joints. So see if you can find some action, but not so much that it's kind of not sustainable. And then from here, we'll reach that left knee out to the side and then back behind us. So the knee stays bent. And then we're going to find circles with that left hip. Try to keep your shoulders, your torso stable in one direction. And then switch direction. And then the next time that your left knee is out to the side, we're going to stay there for a moment. Again, square your shoulders towards the mat. Take a full inhale. And on your exhale, lower that knee to hover next to the right. And then inhale again, open it up to the left. And exhale, hover. And one more time, open. And exhale this time, lower it all the way down. We're going straight to the other side. Again, check that chest and that upper back. And when you're ready, right knee opens to the side, back behind you, in towards you, and find those circles with that right hip this time. The knee stays bent. You'll notice the tendency of the torso to want to move around. So movement is okay, but just be intentional about it. Notice if you can stabilize through those shoulders, those arms, that chest. Switch direction. And then with your next inhale, find that opening, that right knee out to the side. Hold for a moment, breath in. And then exhale, hover. Inhale again, open. Exhale, hover. Last one, inhale, open. And exhale, lower that knee all the way down to the ground. Big toes to touch, the knees slide wide and away from one another. Sit bones to your heels, we're going into child's pose. Let your chest kind of drape forward and down. Maybe your arms go all the way out in front of you. We'll find a little counter stretch for the wrist, so you can turn your palms to face up and then draw the fingers towards you, kind of scooping towards you. So the top of the wrist gets a little bit of a stretch here. You could even make a fist if that feels good. Take a full inhale. And take a longer exhale. And release your wrists. If you had a fist or you had that counter stretch, let your palms face down, your fingers soften. One more breath. And then with your next inhale, walk your hands partly towards you. You can bring your knees a bit closer together if that feels better. And we're going to thread the needle here. So that right arm is going to thread under the left. We're going to try and get that right shoulder to the ground and the head to the ground. If the ground is not close enough, your pillows, your blocks. So plant a pillow or a block under your head, under your shoulder, so that you can rest some here. And your sit bones might be still in that child's pose position, so towards your heels, or you might lift them some, so they don't have to be on your heels. Right now, the focus is the stretch on the outer right shoulder. So it's kind of, it doesn't really matter what your legs are doing that much, as long as they're comfortable and supporting you. Your left arm can walk away from you. Your left fingers kind of crawl forward. Full breath in and full breath out. And then before we move out to the other side, give a little push through that right shoulder. So push into the ground, and maybe even with the whole of your right arm, and even the top of your hand and your fingernails. So push into the ground. Last breath in. And breath out. And then left hand walks back towards you, plant it more or less next to your face, and then push into that hand to come back up. Plant your right hand and make your way to the other side. So your left arm is going to thread, the palm is facing up, and then look for that left shoulder to come as close to the ground as possible. And again, maybe bring the ground higher with a pillow or a block. Head is resting down too. Top of the hand presses against the ground, and then your right hand can reach forward. Walk those fingers away from you. So not only getting that outer left shoulder stretch, but you might be feeling also a nice stretch through that right side, right armpit. A few cycles of breath. And then before we move out of this, see if you can give an extra push through that left arm. So shoulder, upper arm, forearm against the mat, top of the hand, and then even those fingernails, can they push, press down into the ground. And then walking your right hand back towards you, plant it by your face, push into it, rising up. And then walk your hands slightly forward, come back through hands and knees, tuck your toes, and make your way back into downward facing dog. Allow the head to rest towards the ground. Push the floor away with your hands. Push down towards the ground with your heels. Full breath in and full breath out. And then with your next inhale, walk your hands to your feet. So again, towards the back of the mat. And we'll meet in a forward fold on the exhale. Maybe holding onto opposite elbows, maybe hanging. Take a few breaths. And bringing hands to your hips, bend those knees and slowly unroll the spine as you rise all the way up to stand. Allow things to settle as you rise up. So give yourself a moment here, arms by your side, crown of the head reaching tall, and then push your feet into the ground. So feel that connection, that contact. And then as you inhale, reach your arms tall. This time, wrap your right hand around your left wrist and then pull that left wrist up and over. And just like we were talking about earlier in practice, think about that back body sliding on a wall. So you're not making this anything else other than a side bend. And then as you breathe in, bring yourself back through center. Switch the wrists and take it over to the other side. Find that space in the right side of the body and find that contraction through the left side. And then as you inhale, come back through center. Take those arms wide and bring them behind you. Interlace them at your lower back. Send the knuckles down and open up the chest. We'll stay here for a moment. So a few tweaks. Think about puffing the chest forward, but then drawing the belly in and squeezing the glutes. Squeeze through the shoulder blades. Maybe look up, take a breath in. And then on your exhale, look down, chin to chest. And then take the right ear towards the right shoulder. And bring the chin back to chest. Left ear to left shoulder, keep squeezing glutes. And chin back to chest. With your next inhale, release those hands, reach your arms tall, bend your knees and fold forward. Inhale, walk your hands to the top of the mat, plank pose. And exhale, downward facing dog. 2 more without moving those hands or feet. Inhale, coming back into plank. Exhale, back into downward facing dog. 1 more. Inhale, plank. And exhale, downward facing dog. Take a breath in. Take a breath out. This time on your inhale, feet walk to the top of the mat to your hands. And then on your exhale, fold. Inhale, find your chair pose, bend those knees, reach your arms by your ears. And exhale, bring hands to your heart. A little bit more work with those legs. So from your chair pose, right heel rises. So you're still on the ball of the right foot. And exhale, lower. Left heel lifts, inhale. And exhale, lower. Again, right heel, inhale. Exhale, lower. And left heel, inhale. And exhale, lower. Now see if you can lift any amount, both heels. So they don't have to lift very high up, but just feel a bit more weight into the balls of the feet. Breathing in. And then exhale, return weight into your heels. Inhale, push the floor away, rise all the way up tall. And exhale, right arm down, side stretch. Inhale, back through center. Exhale, other side. Inhale, back through center. And on your exhale, bend those knees and fold. Halfway lift, inhale. And exhale, forward fold. Holding onto opposite elbows. If it's available, bend your knees quite a bit and see if you can wrap your arms behind your legs. And then grab a hold of the wrist, the forearm, or opposite elbow. And then once you've got a grip, get your belly and your chest are going to be as close as possible to your thighs. And then keep that closeness and maybe begin to straighten some of the legs, any amount that is available. So don't overdo it. And then see if you can really relax your neck. So the top of the head, the crown of the head is heavy towards the floor. Your sit bones lifting up. Relax the face. Find an open mouth exhale. See if you can make this about more about ease than effort. Another breath in. And last one here, breathing in. And breathing out. And then releasing those elbows, we're making our way down into a seat. So begin to bend those knees and take it as far down as you can with your sit bones. First without using your hands, then eventually planting your hands for balance, and then eventually planting your sit bones. Whenever you get there, Knees are going to be bent. We're going to take those feet wide, those knees wide, and the hands are going to come around the shins. Okay, cows, seated cows and cats. So focus on the grip of your hands on your legs, and then use your arms to help you here in these cows and cats. So as you come forward, think about pulling on your legs, bending your elbows, drawing your elbows back as you open up that chest, that rib cage. And then on your exhale, keep holding onto those legs as you extend your elbows and you round the spine, sending that back body back. And again, pull yourself up, bend those elbows. So use those arms, cow pose. Exhale and round, chin to chest. And again, inhale. Bring yourself forward. Notice that you've got to press down through those feet too. And exhale and round. So that will give you that stability. One more time. Breathing in, coming forward. And breathing out and rounding. And then with your next inhale, bring yourself forward, neutral spine. Hands come to outer hips. Take a full breath in. And then drop your knees to the left side. Inhale, bring your knees through center. And then drop them to the right. Inhale, back through center. This time we're going to the left, and now we're going to pause here. That right hand is going to come over, and we're going to find a twist, turning towards the space behind us. See if you can push that right knee down into the ground, flex your right foot, and see if you can lift your right foot off the ground. Keep your knee down. You'll feel that outer hip, glute have to work. And then plant that right foot. Bring your right hand all the way over. Coming back through center, knees lift. So your feet are still wide, your knees are still wide. And then knees go over towards the right side. Left hand comes over. We're turning the torso any amount towards the space behind us. And then push down through that left knee. And then see if you can lift that left foot off the ground. Again, some engagement through that left glute, left outer hip. And then if the foot was lifted, plant it. Left hand comes all the way over. Bring yourself back through center. And then from here, feet and knees stay wide. Hands are going to come between those feet. So here a block might be a good idea. So hands on a block, and then just work your hands as far forward as you can without changing your legs. So you're rounding your spine, you're lengthening forward. Your legs are staying in the same position. So some things that you might play with here is the knees. So notice if you your knees went wide, see if you can bring them as close to your torso, to your shoulders as you can. So squeeze them in as you go forward with your hands. There you go, nice. Another breath. Soften the neck, the face. And then walking those hands back towards you, lifting that spine, and we're coming all the way onto that back body. So feet come and knees come hip width. And we'll do a little bit of core as we lower. So we're not lowering all the way at once. We're going to pause at one point. So feet planted, reach your arms in front of you. Find that reach through those fingers the whole time. Take a breath in. As you exhale, begin to round lower back, chin to chest, lowering that lower back to the mat, and then lowering the back ribs to the mat, and then pausing here. Keep reaching through those fingers. Your shoulder blades are lifted, but keep your shoulders down so you're not scrunching them up by your ears. You're pressing the lower back into the mat, using that lower belly here. Take a full inhale. Nice job. Press through your feet. Full exhale. One more breath in. And then on your exhale, softly, gently lower shoulder blades and lower head. Nice job. And then bring those knees into your chest. Give yourself a little squeeze. Rock a bit from side to side. And then find some stillness on your back and move your knees kind of away from you. Your shins are going to come parallel to the ground. Your feet are flexed and your knees more or less over your hips. And then your arms could be out by your side, palms facing down, or you could rest them on your belly so you'll become aware of that core work. We're going to do a bit. We're already doing it here by having the legs in this position. But what we're going to do is we're just going to lower one heel at a time without changing anything else. So when we lower the heel, it's just about, it comes from the hip, so it's not the knee extending. So you're keeping this kind of 90-degree angle at your knee, and you're just going to lower the heel to the ground. So let's start by lowering the right heel down without changing anything else. Tap, and then bring it back up. And then left heel down and tap. And bring it back up. Nice job. And then right heel down and tap. And bring it back up. Stable through the rest of the body. Left heel down. And bring it back up. And then from here, we're going to point the toes. And now we're going to do the same, but this time the toes are going to tap. Okay, try not to change anything else. So right toes tap. You're still keeping that same bend in the knee, and bring it back up. And then left toes tap. And bring it back up slowly. And again, right toes. Press that lower back down. Lift and left toes. And lift. If you've got it in you, do one more each side. And then come back through center. Keep your legs as they are, but find some rotation through your ankles in one direction. And then in the other. And then pause that rotation, draw the right knee into your chest, and then extend your left leg all the way out, and slowly with control lower that left leg to the ground. Draw the right knee towards the right armpit. Push the lower back down. Take a full inhale. Take a long exhale. And then from here, we're going to come into a reclined twist. So we're going to guide that right knee over towards the left side. So let your legs kind of roll over, but see if you can keep your chest facing up towards the ceiling. So your right arm can come out into a cactus arm, or you can extend it out into a T, whatever works for you. If you find that your right leg kind of stays in the air, here towards the left side, you might bring your block and you might be able to rest that right leg on your block. So you want this to be more of a resting, reclined twist. So support for those legs is a good idea. Opening through the right side of your chest. Breath in. Breath out. You can also play with the flexion through the hips. Sometimes less flexion will allow you to take the leg a little further, rest it a bit more on the ground. More flexion might mean that the leg is a bit more lifted. Might be a bit more intense on that back, that twist. And then let's bring ourselves back through center. Give that right knee a squeeze into the chest. Take a full inhale. You might stay here, or on your exhale, draw the forehead towards that knee, squeezing it in. And if the head was lifted, release it back down, and we're switching sides. So bring that left knee in first. Give it a squeeze. And then extend your right leg and slowly with control, lower that leg to the ground. See if you can hover it for a moment and then plant it all the way down. And then draw that left knee towards your left armpit. See if you can feel as you open that knee towards the side and you press down through that right leg. See if you can feel a broadening through that lower back sacrum area. Give yourself another breath. And then we'll take it into that twist on this side. So when you're ready, that left knee is going to come across over towards the right side and allow your legs to roll over. But again, try to keep your torso or that upper chest facing up towards the ceiling, so that left arm might kind of open as a cactus arm or out extended into a T. And if you find that blocks were helpful here, or pillows, anything that will support your left leg a little better, make sure that you plant that under it. And you're trying to keep that left side of your torso opening up. And you might notice that twisting on one side is different from your other side. And so bring in that curiosity again. And not because there's anything wrong with us. I was reading recently, like the organs in the body are asymmetrical. So you don't have the same on one side to the other, right? So you have the heart on one side also. So the twists or the side bends are going to be different between sides. And the more you practice and the more you tune in, the more subtleties you notice. A couple more breaths. And then as you're ready, bring yourself back through center. Give that left knee a squeeze towards your chest. Maybe stay here, or if it felt good, you might lift the forehead towards that knee, giving that spine a little extra rounding, especially through that the back ribs and that upper back. And if the head was lifted, bring it back to the ground, and then bring both knees into your chest. And then just take any movements that feel good right now. So explore for 8 to 10 breaths, any big or small movements. And then eventually we'll make our way into Shavasana, into some stillness, some rest. So for that, make sure that you've got any extra clothing that might be helpful to make yourself comfortable. Any props that might also make you feel a bit more settled. And for the next couple minutes, we're going to practice stillness, practice pause, practice not doing. And can you still bring that sense of curiosity here too? What happens when you give yourself a moment to pause? If you have the time, you want to stay a bit longer, feel free to do that. If you're ready to move, bring awareness back to your breath and notice the movement that happens as you breathe. And then to the movement of your breath, add some other movement back into the fingers, the toes, the ankles, the wrists. Moving in any way that feels good to you at this moment. And then eventually we'll make our way up. So if you would on your back, you might roll onto the side. Give yourself a moment. And then taking your time, we'll meet in a comfortable seat. Hands can rest on the lap or bring hands to your heart. And let's take this moment to acknowledge the practice, to acknowledge ourselves for practicing, to acknowledge those who have practiced with us, and to acknowledge those who have made it possible. And we'll end with a word that means that the light in me recognizes and honors the light in you. Namaste.